And welcome in once again to another fine... Well, I'm overselling it, really. Just it's another way for you to waste a half hour with us.
It's an adequate podcast.
At best, it's an adequate podcast. We're about a 3-star podcast on a good day.
I mean, there's some garbage out there.
That it is true.
I mean, I think we rise to the top only by default of the crap that people put out there.
Yes, you're very right about that.
We're actually using microphones. You know, there are people who talk into their earbuds and stuff like that. And
True. So we have a little bit better product, but we're better than most on the radio. That's why we're too good for the radio.
That's it. That's the sweet spot.
Yeah, that's right. We're too good for radio podcast. It is Mike and Molson. Thank you off the hop to our sponsors, Nugenics and Uncle Wiggly's Wieners.
Oh, yes.
We appreciate them being sponsored. And we have a new sponsor at the end of this program as well, presenting a new feature on the program that may or may not return. It all depends on how it goes. We begin today, though. As you know, we're also the AKA Sex and Poo podcast. A lot of that today. We begin with the 5 rudest town names across the U.S.
The rudest town names.
That's what they say. One of these I don't agree with.
Get out, Oklahoma.
Well, no, there is one from Oklahoma. We'll start there.
Okay, all right.
Because I have the background of why it's named that as well. Not just because people come to the town because of the rude name they have. We start with Hooker, Oklahoma. The city apparently can't get enough of the double entendre since its very own baseball team is named the Horneytoads.
Oh, come on.
Hooker is the second largest city in its county and is described by the official website as a, quote, thriving community with strong rural values, superb schools, and growth potential. Residents have fun with their locale's name and are, in fact, making bank off of it. Merchandise with clever spins on the Hooker theme is sold in stores, including a shirt made during the peak of COVID, which reads, Practice Safe 6, and depicts 2 stick figures keeping a safe distance of 6 feet. Welcome to Hooker, Oklahoma.
What else are you going to do there but make hooker jokes?
Up next, we have Climax, Minnesota. Climax was founded in 1896 and is actually named after a chewing tobacco company. Climax in your mouth? I don't know. Maybe people soon caught on to the hilarity of its name, however, and they've been joking about it ever since. The official slogan for Climax Centennial was, Climax, more than just a feeling. And do you want to visit Climax, Minnesota at all? Did it make you want to go there?
And aren't these cities having problems with people stealing their signs?
Well,
is that the issue?
The next one is definitely.
Okay.
Because they're welcome to Horneytown, North Carolina.
Horneytown, there you go.
This small town is located on the outskirts of more well-known Winston-Salem and has a population of about 200 people, all 200 of which are either completely charmed by their place of residence moniker or fully mortified by it. While Horneytown once boasted a large textile mill and a railroad, it's currently marked by gardens, boutiques, a courthouse, and tons of picturesque restaurants. In 2016, it was reported that locals were alarmed by the fact that their road signs, plainly reading Horneytown, kept getting stolen and ended up as a jokester's novelty toy.
Naturally.
Such a concern that cops were forced to install RFID and GPS tracking along with warning sign for thieves because people kept stealing Horneytown street signs.
How'd you like to get that knock on the door? Horneytown police, open up. All right, give us the sign.
When they first knock and say Horneytown police, don't you think immediately it's a stripper? And you're like, hey, I didn't order the bachelorette party
Come
here.
on in.
Come on in, Horneytown police.
Yeah.
In boots and pants and boots and pants.
That's like something a 16-year-old would do, and so the dad has to open the door. What did he do?
Well, remember...
Just give us the sign back.
Remember Bong Rec area? If you drove from like Chicago to Milwaukee... into Wisconsin, there was the Bong Rec area sign that kept getting stolen as well. That then they just decided, no, we're not going to do it anymore. A mile marker 420 was always stolen, as was Horneytown. A couple more. I don't really get why this one's rude. Gayville, South Dakota. I don't really understand why they put it in there, but Gayville is the self-proclaimed hay capital of the world. Has all the markers of a Midwest town, including churches, parks, and community center, and a family-friendly neighborhoods. Gayville's name actually honors Elkanah Gay, an early postmaster.
Yeah.
No direct connection to the LGBTQ plus community. Even official statistics.
Go back to Gayville. take your gay pride back to Gayville.
You know, that's probably something that someone has said at some point.
Sure.
Yeah. And then South Dakota shows they show.
I'm here. I was told to come back to Gayville.
Hello, everyone.
We got another one.
And finally, of the rudest town names across the U.S., Welcome to Intercourse, Pennsylvania. It's a town of dualities. It seems, one, proud that who it keeps folks coming back and again, according to its website, where you can apparently eat side by side with the conservative Amish population. It's likely named at a time, I should say, when intercourse meant social interaction in a faith-based community. One shop even sells shirts with phrases like, Virginia is for lovers, but Pennsylvania has intercourse.
Well, this reminds me, and I got distracted there for a second because I was looking it up real quick, of this past spring when the city of Regina, the capital of Saskatchewan, there were some ideas for an ad campaign, and somehow it leaked out that they were working on an ad campaign with the theme, Show Us Your Regina.
I love it.
And the subtext was, Regina, the city that rhymes with fun. And so I guess even the chatting about it got out, and then people went all bananas. And
Show us your Regina.
The Experience Regina CEO, that's the name of the company, said, I want to start by apologizing on behalf of myself and our team for the negative impact we created with elements of our recent brand launch. It was clear that we fell short of what is expected from our amazing community.
Could you plan a road trip, though, from Horneytown to Regina to Climax?
Yes.
But you would need to stop at intercourse first, right? Or do you just need to not have intercourse to get to Climax?
Yeah, I couldn't find Climax.
I'd have no idea where it's at. Couldn't find it on a map.
Started out at Horneytown, and I couldn't get to Climax.
All I ended up with was a Hooker, Oklahoma.
Speaking of names.
Yes.
And we've talked about people that have, I'm just attracted to funny names.
Oh, we always are,
has an unusual name.
Yes.
It just makes me giggle. But there is one last name in the history of last names that you probably wouldn't want to have.
Okay, just one? Oh,
There
well,
is
yeah,
one.
okay.
The king of all last names.
Yeah, the king of the worst last names of all time. I think we all know what it is.
And it's a last name we haven't heard since the 1940s.
And for good reason.
Right. Even if there are some Hitlers out there.
That's a tough one to try to overcome.
However, let me take you to Circleville, Ohio, an hour south of Columbus, where you find an unusual amount of Hitler references. There's Hitler Road number 1 and Hitler Road number 2.
Why would you have two Hitler roads?
There's Huber Hitler Road, Hitler Pond, Hitler Park.
Why?
Yeah. I'm going down to Hitler Park and swing on the swings.
You can't say that. Go on down the old Hitler Road.
Yeah. Now, none of them have anything to do
right. We understand
with the Third
that.
Reich.
Yeah. I would hope not.
The Hitlers emigrated to this county in 1799, and according to the Circleville Herald, they were fine, upstanding citizens.
I don't doubt
the Hitlers were some of the nicest people.
I tell you what, the Hitlers would offer you so many free things.
Yeah. The Hitler family consisted of George Hitler and his wife, Susanna Gay, and their 11 children.
11 Hitler kids?
And they married other families, and so there's just a big flock of Hitlers walking around Ohio.
By the way, terrible cover band, the Flock of Hitlers. Yeah.
2 of George Hitler's grandchildren became successful wheat farmers. Get a bag of Hitler flour.
Man, what kind of bread is that? It's Hitler wheat bread.
Nelson Hitler owned 2,000 acres of the area. And
2,000?
He helped build Hitler Ludwig Cemetery. 18 Hitlers are buried there. Martha Hitler Park. It was donated by Martha Hitler. There was also,
even if you put the first name in front of it, I'm sorry. This entire time you've been talking, every time you say that name, I cringe, and for obvious reasons.
George Washington Hitler had a son.
What'd he cross? I just want to know real quick.
George Washington Hitler's son, Gay Hitler.
Are we in the multiverse now?
No, it's just like a Mel Brooks routine.
It is.
Dr. Gay Hitler was a local dentist.
Hitler was in your mouth?
Yeah.
Rooting around there?
I went to the dentist, and I can't even say Dr. Hitler gave me gas. I mean,
you can't say that at all.
He
gave me a root canal, that's for sure.
He served the community for more than 20 years.
Dr. Gay Hitler. Paging Dr. Gay Hitler.
All was well for the Hitlers of Circleville until Adolf came along and ruined it for everyone.
I wonder how people reacted, right? Let's say you're Dr. Gay Hitler. Let's just throw it out there for a second.
Sure.
Put yourself in Dr. Gay Hitler's shoes. You have a burgeoning fine business, upstanding community guy, and the next thing you know, does anyone now go to Dr. Hitler?
Right.
Once Adolf shows up. Now,
many of the surviving Hitlers have to endure strange looks and questions. I'm here to pick up dry cleaning for Hitler.
Yeah. No. I feel bad for them. They have to change their name, right?
Dr. Tom Ebenhack, a local veterinarian whose mother was a Hitler.
His mother was a mother. His mother was a Hitler.
Believes that his generation and that before him probably had to bear some jokes. Not jokes. We stay away.
Wow, yeah.
But the same cannot be said for those who left Circleville for other cities. So it's one of those things, yeah. So if you're in Circleville, you kind of know. It's like, oh, yeah, the Hitlers live over by Hitler Pond.
By the Hitler Park?
Yeah. But this family leaves Circleville and moves to North Carolina. Had to change their telephone number, because people look it up in the phone book.
Yeah.
I'm going to call Hitler and prank him. One was asked to change his name by the president of a company where he worked. You're a great employee, sir, but you just can't. We can't send Steve Hitler out to sell shower curtain rings.
Yeah, no, you can't be doing that. You can't be like, I'm going into the bank to get a loan. Who's your loan officer? Oh, just Mr. Hitler.
Yeah. But many of the Circleville residents are proud Hitlers, standing tall and don't mind at all. So if you happen to be driving through rural Ohio and
Circleville,
and you're at the corner of Hitler 1 and Hitler 2, then just understand it's not that Hitler.
No, it's not.
It's the fine, upstanding Hitlers.
It's the descendants of Gay Hitler that you're dealing with.
Someone's going to isolate that sentence from this podcast and ruin us.
Oh yeah, we're going to get canceled.
The Hitlers were fine, upstanding people.
Only the Circleville ones, not the other ones. All right. It is the Micah Molson. I'm sorry. I'm looking at where we're at in this studio right now. I'm looking in a reflection because so bereft of things going on around here, of trying to figure out someone at the front door. And we can't answer the door because we're live here recording this podcast.
We're at a radio station. It's too good for receptionists.
Yes, and too good for the radio.
We can't have receptionists help people out who come.
Moving on from the fine, upstanding people of Circleville to a couple of weird criminals. All right. Okay. Remember, if you'll recall, way back in the day, while we were still on the radio, we came up with the world's worst character ever on the radio, Ticklefoot.
Oh, Ticklefoot. Yeah, this was a guy who was sneaking around
underneath cars, and he'd just tickle your foot.
He'd reach out and tickle your foot.
Yeah, if women were wearing some sandals and they're getting in their car in a mall parking lot, he's just going to tickle your foot.
I didn't mean to bother you. I just wanted to tickle on your feet a little bit. Can I tickle your foot?
Oh, that's quite a good pedicure you got there.
My name's Ticklefoot.
Ticklefoot.
Tickle.
Well, there's a real Ticklefoot who was causing some real problems.
Okay. Our Ticklefoot was a real Ticklefoot.
Well, it was a real Ticklefoot.
This is Ticklefoot 2.
Electric Tickle 2.
Gucci goo.
Better phrasing. Lake Tahoe, a man accused of breaking into Lake Tahoe condominiums and fondling the feet of multiple women has been arrested.
Fondling the feet of multiple women.
Introducing the real name of Ticklefoot, Mark Anthony Gonzalez was arrested at his residence in the Atwater area. He is facing 2 counts of burglary and 2 counts of battery in his alleged foot-fondling escapades. Gonzalez accused of breaking into 2 condominiums in State Line, Nevada by opening unlocked screen doors. Once inside, he positioned himself at the foot of the bed and rubbed the feet of 2 separate adult females,
who I assume were sleeping at the time. My God, what a horrifying thing. I would rather wake up with somebody who's holding a knife at my throat
than just tickling your foot.
Rubbing the ball of your foot.
Just tickling your feet there.
Got to release some of the tension down here.
Each female awoke from their sleep as the subject was rubbing their feet.
God almighty.
Once awake, the females confronted the male subject and he fled the scene. He has a history of similar crimes that involve fetish-like behavior, and he's going to be going away for a long time now, as he just would randomly walk in and just start tickling the feet.
That's amazing when the brain goes to that place of, okay, this is the thing that turns me on. This is my kink. I gotta have it, and it's that.
Just walking in and tickling feet. Feet are gross.
That it's so pervasive in your head that you have to break into a house just to get your kink out.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's when you know you have a problem.
Similarly, in Rhode Island, a man is facing 4 felony charges after breaking into homes to steal sex toys.
What's boy? But you know what? Even that's not as weird as Ticklefoot.
Police were dispatched on the report of a suspicious person. The dispatcher told police the person was trying to break in through a window. When the resident arrived home, he saw someone standing outside of his window on top of a chair.
Can you imagine pulling up to your house and seeing that going on? Where'd he get the chair from? Did he steal that from somebody else, or was it just some lawn furniture, I imagine?
So, yeah, they look outside. They look through the window, and there's somebody on a chair looking in the window. The guy goes out and says, "Get away."
Yeah, go. Shoo.
The resident told officers the suspect apologized and said, "Sorry, wrong house."
No, that's no. What do you mean wrong house?
Right. What's the right house to be standing on a chair
trying to get a window?
Sorry, my bad.
We're just having a little thing that we do. My friend likes me to bring a chair in and enter through the window. My apologies.
About an hour later, they saw the guy in a car around the corner. As police approached the scene, they observed the man going through a dumpster with a flashlight in his hands. He was arrested, and he said, "Oh, sorry, I was trying to buy some weed. I didn't realize this was a dumpster."
What?
So again, he says, "I was at the wrong place.
Wrong place. Sorry, just trying to get some weed." I assume where he lives it may be legal? Because you probably shouldn't say that to the authorities.
According to police narrative, he admitted to entering a home on May 27th, and he stole a sex toy from the bedroom. When questioned further, he then broke into another home and stole 2 more sex toys from separate bedrooms. Providence, Rhode Island is a very horny town.
Apparently. That's North Carolina. Get it right.
He admitted to stealing the sex toys and a makeup palette, but dropped it and ran when a woman confronted him and said, "Hey, give me back my sex toy and makeup palette."
Do you want it back, though? Like those people, did they... First of all, did they file a police report for it? I know some of those things are very expensive.
Right. That's a very good question.
So if you come home and it's missing,
right?
Do you call if that's it sounds like
help, police! Somebody stole my double dong jelly dildo.
That was a collector's item. It was a Game of Thrones edition. It was a dragon size. It's 500. So first of all, who reported it? Mm-hmm. And secondly, if they do get it back, do you want it back?
Can you imagine calling your insurance agent? Is this covered?
Is my rabbit covered in this? Is my butt plug covered?
Is my taint tickler covered under my policy?
Just want to remind you, this episode brought to you by Uncle Wiggley's Wieners.
So this guy, Mr. Nadrowski, told police, "I didn't steal anything of value from these houses. I just stole women's sex toys, which he intended to give to someone as a birthday present."
No! Okay.
Happy birthday to you.
Not enough sanitizer in the world to ever use someone else's used sex toy.
Yeah. It's just my size. How did you know?
Well, I was looking far and wide for this. It's like Cinderella's slipper. I went into a bunch of different homes and found the one just for you.
Judge, we got to talk to judges in this country because we have to have a talk about how they're setting bail because it is just not
too low for this guy.
It doesn't meet the crime. Judge set bail at $2,500.
Way too low because that means he only has to make what, $250 to get out?
I don't know. With conditions that this guy not go back to the residence and please don't buy weed from dumpsters and steal women's toys.
Hello, it's the who is it? Climax Police. Got your sex toy. We got it back for you. Oh, thank you. I could not reach where I needed to go in Climax.
And the only reason this story popped up was because he was just recently arrested again.
Oh, no.
For standing outside someone's windows and peering in. So he keeps...
He's a peeping Tom.
Messing things, yeah.
He should be in a cell with... Gonzalez, Ticklefoot, and this weirdo should be together in prison, and they should have a higher bond than that. We move forward with some rude behavior. We had rude town names. Mm-hmm. Now we move and rude behavior by these two weirdos. But this is rude behavior from an etiquette expert when it comes to the grocery store. We've talked about it before. Sometimes people just stand in the middle of the lane. But there are 10 bad behaviors at the grocery store that you should not do. And we will begin with using the express line with too many items. How many is too many for the express line is what I want to ask.
That's a good question. What is the grace?
Because I find I'm efficient, right? The self-checkout is, I think, 20 items now.
Okay.
It used to be 10 or whatever. I find even if I get to 30, I'm efficient with it because there are people who have 8 items that will take longer than me because they're unaccustomed to using the self-checkout line.
So for Mike, 30 is the new 20.
Yes, 30 is the new 20 for me.
Because you're efficient.
But they say respect the limited items in the express line and don't go through it if you have more than allowed. Mm-hmm. And if I give you the grace of 30, right? 10 over is anything over that.
That's pretty generous. Good for you.
That's what I give you.
You're a good man.
As long as you're using the self-checkout and know how to do it. Yeah. I would rather have that than the person who hates the self, because there's always those people, right, that hate the self-checkout but are forced to do it because only 2 lines open, and then they complain and bitch the whole time, like, technology.
Yeah, the only reason self-checkout doesn't work for you is because you're an idiot.
Correct.
And you can't figure it out.
Correct.
It's really very simple.
It's not very difficult.
No. As long as you're not with a bottle of whiskey. You ever get behind those people who try to buy alcohol in the self-checkout and then the red light starts blinking? It's like, you knew you couldn't do that. The person has to come over and boom.
And I buy booze in the self-checkout, but I understand that the person's going to have to come over. It's the people, to your point, that then get exasperated that they have to wait for the person to come over. It's one person running like 8 lines, and there's 3 other dopes that don't know how to use it. Just relax.
And again, the joy of the self-checkout has nothing to do with efficiency, or it's just like I don't have to talk to anybody.
I know that's why you
the
love
only
it.
reason I use it.
The next one, as far as grocery store etiquette, ignoring aisle traffic rules. I did not realize, but I think it's the same as rules of the road.
Yeah.
You go down the right side.
Keep to the right.
Yeah, keep to the right. Touching and opening things without buying them.
Yeah.
I talked about this before in the podcast of the people who eat the grapes. Mm-hmm. They go around and try a grape from each one. It's like that's stealing. You should be, prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Disrespecting personal space. That's another one that bugs me, right? When you're trying to choose your salad dressing or whatever, and the people are all up on, like, right behind you, and they're all up in your grill, you're like, hey, you're freaking me out. I'll get my salad dressing. Just,
I got you.
Kind of move to the side. Let me make my choice, then move to the side. Don't crowd me when I'm trying to choose
line
things.
Jumpers in the salad bar.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that bugs me. Taking items from other people's carts. Who does that?
Wow.
Who takes from other people's carts?
That should be a given that you don't do that. That's not a...
Holding up the checkout line is another one they say about grocery store etiquette. They say stay off your cell phone when checking out and have your credit card ready to go.
Credit card, not checkbook.
Oh, God. Does anyone do that anymore?
It happens.
No, that drives me nuts. Or what is your is couponing? Is extreme couponing still a thing?
I don't know.
I don't see that as much anymore. Thankfully, so. Returning items to random places.
Thank you.
That is a big no, especially if it's a frozen item. Mm-hmm. Do you ever just walk down like a random, you're in the spaghetti aisle and all of a sudden there's some popsicles there? Like, what a jerk!
Bag of frozen corn or something. Yeah, that. If I realize I have something that I don't need, I go right back and set it back. It's just, it's ridiculous to not do that.
Just be nice. Not being mindful of your surroundings. Try to pay attention when people and things are around you. Mm-hmm. Keep close watch of your children in the cart and in the aisles. Failing to return your cart, they say, is also bad etiquette.
Keep the cart snug to the aisle, too.
Yes. Yes.
Don't just let it drift off into the middle.
No one likes that. And being pushy or aggressive in the parking lot. They say the parking lot causes a great deal of grief because everyone is in a hurry. Honor the rule of allowing pedestrians to have the right of way to cross over on the walkway to the store. Grocery stores tend to have large parking lots, so even if you have to circle a few times, be patient as you search for a spot. Don't pull up on people. Yeah,
and I think, man, calibrate your expectations.
Yes.
The grocery store is work. It isn't the place for I'm going to go in, grab a gallon of milk, and go home. You're gonna get slowed down. You just will.
Yes.
You just will. So know that going in.
Yeah.
Give people a little bit of grace. I always like when somebody, you ever had this happen where you're behind somebody and, I don't know, there's a cracked egg or a mushed banana or something, and they say, I'm just going to go run and get a replacement for it and come back. And I've had to do that too, and I break out in a sweat. because I know I'm inconveniencing like 3 people. And people just like apologize, and I'm sorry. It's like, whatever.
No. I'm the same way. The people that bug me the most, going back to the self-checkout, are the people like when you wrap up, right? They see you hit the total button, you haven't even started to pay yet, and they're immediately like right up on you, and they just like they sit there, they're tapping their foot like, "Come on, it's like, hey, take a deep breath. I'm not going to be that much longer. The 30 seconds that's going to take me to grab all my stuff, you're freaking me out here by getting this close to me."
Calibrate your expectations.
Speaking of getting close and etiquette rules. There is a big to-do on the internet now of a woman who is in line at the airport to check in her bags, right? The little like zigzag line,
sure.
Okay?
Go through the rat maze.
Yeah.
The mat raise.
The mat raise?
That's what I'm saying there.
Or the raised mat, whatever it may be.
The rat maze.
The rat
maze. God almighty.
Are you having a stroke?
Yes.
Are you okay?
Sorry.
Stroking out of this. So someone took a picture because this
I'm never going to be able to say that right again for the rest of my life.
The rat maze?
It's now mat raise.
Like penis nerf.
The
this girl is standing in that line. And instead of when the next person gets up to the counter, right? Generally, everybody else then moves forward. You move forward. You move forward. This girl is on her phone, and she just keeps standing there. So the line behind her is not filling in the full rat maze. I'll save you there.
Thank you.
And so everyone starts to get a little upset of like, hey, move up. Her defense is, because she wasn't going to move up until it's her turn. Her defense is basically that what's the difference if I move now or move later?
Right.
It's still going to be the same amount of wait time.
Right.
So whether
it causes a lot of anxiety.
And it doesn't matter if I move the next 2 turns. Once I realize, hey, I'm next, I'll just shoot to the straight front of the line, and you're still going to wait the same amount of time.
Exactly.
And it's got people.
She's right. She's right and wrong at the same time.
Correct. She is correct that the wait time will be the same, but you got to fill in the available space.
I think you do.
Because the problem is now the people who should be moving through, because you're standing still so far back, one, I don't think you're going to be paying attention enough. If you're on your phone and it means that much to you that you're not moving up, you're not going to be paying attention when they try to hail you down. Because when you're in the airport in that situation, there's usually such a wide array and expanse of people checking in bags that a lot of times, even when you're right there up on the line, you have to wave them down.
You're right.
So, but she is correct that it's the same amount of time, but I don't believe, and also you're backing up regular traffic now into the actual walkway because you're not moving up. So while, yes, she's right, she's also wrong.
She's right and wrong at the same time. It happens in traffic, too.
Yes.
You know, when a car moves forward and there's a little bit of a gap, and you go, oh, man, I'm just going to, lightly take my foot off the brake and just slowly roll forward, or I can just sit here for a minute.
Especially, I've learned traffic jams, it's better to just sit there a little bit. There's nothing worse than the person who weaves in and out of the traffic jams. Just like, take a deep breath, you'll be fine. And while this, it wouldn't upset me, but I think social norms tell us to move up. I think after a while, after 3 or 4 people have left and she's still there, it may get me a little upset.
Causing anxiety for no reason.
Yes, exactly. It is the Mike and Molson Too Good for Radio podcast. Before we get to our last segment, which is brought to us by a new sponsor, Gen Z and their slang may throw some people for a loop. That's why we are here to help the best way we can.
What was our generation's slang? I guess I'm trying to think of.
Totally tubular? Was that us?
Did you ever say that?
No.
Neither did I.
No.
I'm trying to think of things I would have said.
Dude? Did dude come into the vernacular because of us?
Seems like that's always been around.
But in a different context.
I remember a lot of things were bogus.
Yes, I do remember bogus. Or, what was it? Gross was another one, but
that's always been
something
around.
Grody to the max was that one.
Again, I'm never said it.
Yeah, they don't really stick around. But if you want to get
anyway, yes.
If you want to be up on the Gen Z slang,
kids today and their words,
we have an entire list here.
Okay,
that we'll go through. I'll give you the word, and then you tell me what you think it means. Okay. Glow up. I
know this one. See, my daughter is a Gen Zer,
right. So you're
going to understand kind of what this is. This is when you you make yourself handsome. You put on a new fit.
Yep.
Is that one on there too?
Yeah, fit check. Describing how someone improved from where they used to be. They glowed up.
Yeah. Get a haircut, get a nice suit on, you glow up.
Slay.
That's a. I know it's like I know what it is, but I don't know how to describe it. It's awesome. It's
you're
cool.
doing
It's
a
a
good
great
job.
song. You're
doing a good job.
Yeah.
You slayed it. You glowed up and you slayed it.
Mm-hmm.
Next is bet. This one threw me off.
Sure did. Yeah. This one I still don't fully know when to use it.
It's bet is a way of saying yes or okay or it's on.
Yeah. Why is it? Why did they choose that?
I don't know. It doesn't give me a reason why.
When I first started hearing my daughter say bet, I couldn't quite get her to explain to me why that word has been chosen for that.
And I couldn't either. When I asked my nieces of like, what does I assume the way I hear you talking that bet means yes or something is okay,
right.
And they're like, yeah, that's what it means.
But why?
But why? I couldn't get an answer out of it either. It is what it is. Vibing is
Just kind of digging a groove.
yeah,
there,
a generic positive feeling. Stan.
Stan?
Yeah.
STAN?
Yeah. Stan.
I have no idea.
It's synonymous with supporting something. So you say, yeah, I stand with that.
I stand.
I stand.
So it's stand without the
D. Yeah, don't want to say the D. Sus. I think we all know what sus means.
Something suspect.
Yeah.
I kind of like that one.
I do like that one too. Facts.
Yeah.
That's another one saying that something is true. I've caught myself using it. I think once my generation starts using it, it's going to be phased out pretty quickly.
Immediately kills it.
Yeah, exactly. Here's one that I don't like that Gen Z uses, and it's used too much by too many people. Simp. When the people are simping for somebody.
What does that mean?
You don't know what simp means?
I guess not.
It's a term for someone who admires another person. It's usually used in a derogatory way to imply someone is paying weird amounts of attention to another person.
Oh.
To be like you would be simping for Debbie Gibson.
I do simp for Debbie Gibson.
You're a simp for Debbie Gibson.
That's very true.
So.
I saw a picture the other day with Debbie Gibson and Lisa Loeb standing next to each other.
Good Lord.
It was, yeah, I didn't.
Did you visit Climax, Minnesota after that one, or take you right to Horneytown?
I got no work done the rest of the day.
The next Gen Z term that we're giving you the meaning for, slaps. I think
slaps.
Yeah.
Kind of like slay.
It's good. A
song usually slaps.
Song usually slaps, people slay.
Gotcha.
Understood the assignment.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of these are just, yeah.
If someone tells you understood the assignment, it means you did something well and understood what you're supposed to do.
All right.
Cap.
Cap, yeah.
That's another one like bet.
It's like bet.
Bet's like cap.
I know what it is when I hear it, but...
Cap is a word that means a lie. If someone says no cap, it means something like I'm totally being honest.
Yeah.
So like, no cap, Johnny simps for Debbie Gibson.
Because she slays.
Boom.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, but I don't know why. I don't know why cap is there.
Tea refers to gossip, a.k.a. spilling the tea.
Spill the tea.
Valid is a word that people use to express that something is understandable. So it's like, so mad at so-and-so last night. Valid. No cap, valid.
So that's actually using the word for what it means.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, W or L, win or loss. Big yikes.
Big yikes
is a Gen Z slang term that I was not aware of, but is a way of saying something is bad. So like, Meg 2, big yikes. Is what I have to say about Meg 2.
Yeah.
Basic, I think we know what that means, right? Is typically used in connection with a person who is being described as unoriginal.
Okay.
So like when I walk in on a Sunday for brunch and I order an avocado toast, basic. Basic AF. Ghost, we know that one.
Just abandon somebody. Yeah.
Yep. Main character.
Yeah.
Means someone is the center of attention, is often used reflexively.
Making themselves the same.
Yeah. Hits different. Also the slang.
This one I've heard, and I don't know when to use this one.
It means that something is received in a positive and unique way. It just hits different.
Oh, okay. Right.
You know, when you go, like, for instance, right, when I was younger and watched Field of Dreams, the end scene was meh. But now that I'm older and lost my father, it just hits different, man.
I get you.
It hits different. And finally, we have dank.
Dank.
As a Gen Z slang term. You know what dank means?
It sounds negative to me.
It's typically used in meme culture to refer to a hard-hitting meme and doesn't have a typical definition. So it's dank, man. The dank memes.
Oh, okay.
That meme is dank.
Yeah, I still don't know when to use that.
I don't know. I don't either.
Something I bet cap dank. I bet that's cap dank. What?
I hope no one. Yeah. I hope everyone thinks this podcast slaps and it's not dank.
I guess.
I'm not quite sure. And finally, on the podcast here, we appreciate you listening this long into it. We have a new segment, the In Memoriam segment. brought to you by Balls Ginger Ale. These people went balls up.
Balls Ginger Ale.
It's following Uncle Wiggly's
Wieners.
Is balls.
In fact, they're having a special right now. If you buy one wiener, you get 2 balls for free.
Really?
Yeah.
Buy one, get 2 balls.
I saw Balls Ginger Ale in the store the other day, and I sent Mike a picture. It's like, here they are, new sponsor.
Nothing like crisp balls.
The old balls.
Yeah, for a satisfying refreshment. We lost Pee Wee Herman this week.
I thought you were going to say Sinead O'Connor, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, we lost Sinead O'Connor. Correct. We lost Sinead O'Connor, bald. We also lost Paul Rubens. Pee Wee Herman.
Did you say bald?
Balls, bald.
Oh, okay.
That's why they sponsored this segment, Johnny.
Okay.
Come on now.
Sorry.
Then we lost Paul Rubens, who, as most people know, is Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
He got Tim Burton his start, Pee Wee's Big Adventure, as the director of Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
That was his first.
Yeah. So, and obviously Pee Wee's Playhouse. A lot of people grew up watching Pee Wee's Playhouse. So, the comedic genius of Pee Wee Herman. And then we lost this gentleman in a way that is not shocking to me.
Yeah, it's not, and it's not. I don't feel bad.
No, the first 2 I feel very bad about, especially Sinead O'Connor. She went through a lot of stuff. And by the way, Paul Rubens, 6 years battling cancer,
kept it quiet. Didn't say anything. He left a note to be read afterwards. Sorry, I didn't tell you.
Yeah, and he was 70. I didn't realize Pee Wee was that old.
He'll always be Pee Wee.
Yeah, he always.
But Remy Lucidi, who's a French daredevil, known for his slapping Instagram,
he glowed up.
Yeah.
Now he go up,
and he went down.
No, he went down to go up.
Down. Was doing one of his daredevil routines and was outside of a building where you're not supposed to be.
No, he's one of those ones I'm sure you've seen the pictures of these people that have no harness or anything, and they're on top of these skyscrapers being built, and they take these ridiculous selfies.
He fell from the 68th floor.
Not good.
In Hong Kong. Apparently, he got trapped outside a penthouse. According to investigators, he arrived at the building and was visiting a friend on the 40th floor. He then made his way to a top floor, got trapped outside, and started pounding on a window, startling a maid inside.
Ah!
Let me in.
That would scare the crap out of you on the 68th floor.
Yeah. So she freaked out,
that.
which I guess freaked him out, and he slipped.
Oh, no.
And tumbled to the ground.
Yeah. Is there much of him left?
No.
68 floors. That's.
He was last seen alive knocking on a penthouse window on the 68th floor at about 7:30, which prompted a maid not to help him, but to call police. Let me in. No,
you
don't.
Sir.
I don't think you're supposed to be in this building or on it.
I heard about Ticklefoot and the sex toy guy. I'm not letting you in.
So yeah, I'm sure by the time police got there, he was unrecognizable. But they did find his sports camera, which contained videos of his other stunts. I don't know if this one is there. The adventurer said he was staying at a hostel and he was healthy, fit, and happy. Shortly before his death, he posted a photo of the Hong Kong skyline and said, "This is mine."
Well, it is now.
And
forever will be yours.
Climbing in 2016. Since then, the stuntman had traveled around the world attempting different kinds of stunts. And people are mourning his death. But it's like, it's kind of telegraphed, isn't it?
Yeah, you kind of knew.
Point, this is not gonna work.
At some point, yeah. The
day will come when this doesn't work anymore.
Where you slip on something, and there you go. And yeah, I'm not really surprised that he's gone, but R.I.P.
Or a maid beats you on the head with a broom.
Get out! Get out of here!
Police! Help!
Help me, police! He's going to attack!
And squirts him in the eye with lemon pledge.
Yes, no, you're not allowed in. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, the new segment brought to you by Balls Ginger Ale, because this guy went balls up.
Yeah, down. Bet.
Yeah, bet on that. We appreciate you listening. We hope this slayed.
Glad you made it this far.
Yeah, exactly. And if you have, you deserve something. I'm not quite sure what it is, but how about another episode next week?